the bottom, it isn't quite the same. Even for those on the rise, there's not an awful lot of cash in the boxing world, and if you're just starting out, well, it can be a very costly exercise indeed. But don't take my word for it. Here's the former European champion talkSPORT's Spencer Oliver.
You're turning professional and you're boxing, let's say, York Hall on a non-televised fight. You have to sell tickets to earn any money, but you have to cover the wages of your opponent as well. So if you don't have the ability to be able to sell enough tickets, you effectively have to pay to fight.
A far cry then from Jake Paul facing Mike Tyson in 2024, when the purse was reported to be around £48 million. But the vast amounts of cash lining the top dog's pockets isn't the norm in a typical fight.
Let's say you're lucky and you get between 5 and 10 grand. You're going to get 10 grand max for that. 10% goes to the trainer, 25% goes to the manager. Then we've got the tax man to pay as well. So we're cutting that money in at least half. So now you've got 5 grand for a 10-week camp. So you're talking about a guy here earning, he might be clearing 500 quid a week. How do you support a family on that? So boxers chase the dream. And, you know, there's probably 2% of them that actually make it.
So say you do make it and you start to rise up the ranks. Strikers Boxing, a training academy, says the mid-tier fighters can earn more, somewhere between £10,000 and £50,000 a fight, depending on record, profile, opponent and popularity of weight class. It's only at the top level does the real cash start flowing in, with the top-tier professionals, i.e. those going for titles, earning 6 figures a fight. Something else you'll have heard of is the terms prize fighter or journeyman. A prize fighter is, as it sounds, someone who picks up fights where they can and gets a nice big check if they win. Journeymen are the fighters who take on up-and-comers, effectively used for experience in the ring. Even if they're going up against the real prospects, a young Anthony Joshua, for example, these guys will be lucky to earn more than 10 grand. So the average boxer isn't as rich as you'd think.
Oh, God.
Thing is, Charlie, I said this last week. I said if this happens again, I will leave the country and I will never return unless I get even a moderately, slightly better offer.
Wowee.
And I'm standing by that.
You're standing by that.
So listen up,
forever.
Management.
Right, they've listened. They've listened.
Oh,
a slightly better offer incoming.
Here we go, everybody.
Okay.
Morning. Welcome. There's no time to faff about because there's a lot of sport happening today.
So much sport.
There's absolutely no faff. We give you a no faff guarantee today.
It's an NFG.
Have our word. Here we go. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the world's biggest sports radio station. It is talkSPORT. My name is Max Rushden. Alongside me, Charlie Baker. And Charlie, this is just any warm-up.
This is the double award-winning, award-retired, GameDay retired warm-up, Max, on Saturday, the 27th of September, 2025. And at 12:30, it's Brentford, the Bees, versus Manchester United, the Red Devils. In the Premier League, it's a talkSPORT exclusive, presented by Reshman Chowdhury. Commentary from Sam, the Sausage, Gilet Man Matterface, and former England captain Stuart, Psycho Pierce, the Obi producer. Oh, it's Carl Raleigh. Go get it! it! And then at 12:30, it's Coventry v Birmingham in the Championship. It's a talkSPORT 2 exclusive, presented by Ian, the Duke of Knutsford Danter. Commentary from Adam, Stamford, Bridge, and former Wolves goalkeeper Matt Murray. The OB producer. It's Adam Bridge. Go get it! And then at 14:30, it's Forget About It. Forget about it, you dirty scoundrel! The Busted the Business! Adrian Durham, Troy Deeney, Leanne Sanderson and Mickey Gray. It's on talkSPORT. Forget it, the Busted the Business. Adrian Durham with all the goals as they go in from the Premier League and the EFL, including Chelsea, the Blues, versus Brighton, the Seagulls, Crystal Palace, the Eagles, versus Liverpool, the Reds, Manchester City, the Citizens, versus Burnley, the Clarets, plus a classified results service at 17:15. Notabalazze. Adrian Mickey at Manchester City, Troy at Chelsea, and Leanne at Crystal Palace. At 15 o'clock, it's Southampton versus Middlesbrough in the Championship. It's a talkSPORT 2 exclusive. Not on UK TV.
Not on UK TV. It is not on UK TV.
Not on UK TV. Go get
Not
it!
on UK
And it's commentary
TV.
from Ian, the Duke of Knutsford Danter, and former Arsenal winger Perry Groves, the OB producer. It's Ian, the Duke of Knutsford Danter! Woo! Go get it! And at 20 o'clock, it's Tottenham, the Spurs, versus Wolves, the Wolves. In the Premier League, it's a talkSPORT exclusive, presented by Faker Others. Commentary from Joe Shannon and former Chelsea defender Scott Minto, the OB producer. It's Izzy Minto! Go get it! It's 13 degrees in London. It feels like 13. It's big ticket live Premier League action. You can't afford to miss.
I mean, that had everything. The go-get-its, isn't it? Adam says, I just bolted out of bed and exclaimed, it's 9 o'clock. The wife said, it's Saturday, you're not working today. And I said, I didn't want her to know that I was off to listen to the go-get-its. Get this buffoon baker off air, says
Yes.
Billy. Nick says, Jesus.
Yeah, get him off.
This is anonymous. Says it's our little girl Eloise's first experience of the intro to the game day warm-up. She's
Eloise.
5 days old and she absolutely loved it.
Yeah,
I hope
go
her
get it,
first
Eloise.
words,
Go get it.
Her first words are "go get it." This is Tom says, getting my daughter ready to go to the Emirates for Arsenal. Ladies v
yeah,
Villa.
great.
Listening to Charlie belt out bridge over troubled water. She turns to me and says, "This isn't sport. Never change." What a great way to start the Saturday morning. Go get it, says Rob in Bath. Well, listen, as Michael says, a 35-year-old man dancing in his flat cap to the go get it's. No wonder I'm single. I love you guys.
Yeah, I love you
Michael
too.
in Edinburgh.
Go get it.
Thank you so much. Well, there's so much to
I mean,
do.
I love the person who said get off air. I mean, look, he's got his own problems. He's got his own problems. It's not for everyone. You can just turn the radio off. It's up, it's up to you. And, maybe look inside yourself to where the unhappiness is. Some things are just for fun. Some things are just for fun.
I love the fact listening to all of that was World Cup winner, former England pro, Rocky Clark, as we talk
World
about
Cup final today,
England's-
Max.
World Cup final, England women versus Canada, and Rocky joins us now. The whole show isn't shouting, Rocky.
Sorry,
I
Rocky.
just want you to know
It's just
that.
how we start.
I am so impressed, boys. I want to take you with me to the game, if I'm honest. You're bouncing off the wall. I'm bouncing off the wall. I love the energy. We need that at Twickenham.
Yeah, go get it. Go
Yeah,
get it.
look, listen, it's great. You have beaten Canada in the World Cup final
Yes.
for England. So how would the players be feeling right now?
Yeah, like they'll be quietly confident, but Canada was so good in the semi-finals and they've been fantastic throughout the tournament. And they've really come to the party and they're peaking at the right time. So England will be a bit nervous, and rightly so. Biggest day of your life playing in a World Cup final, but I think England are just going to try and stick to their processes, make sure they earn the right, kick the ball when it's appropriate, carry hard, get on the front foot, and then when it's on, get it out to the speedsters. We've got absolute rapid back three. We want to get it in Kilduns, Dow's, Breach's hands, but we've got to earn the right.
Yeah, what are your memories of 2014, Rocky? Do you have a sort of in-game memory, or is it just a general vibe?
Yeah, no, I have a panic in-game memory. We just scored, and there was probably, I don't know, 7 minutes left or something, and I was panicking like we can't lose this. We're in the lead. We can do this, but the fear of them, because they got the ball and a penalty and kicked it down, and the fear of legging it back to get onside to make your tackles, it was just panic until the final whistle. Final whistle went, and I dropped on my knees, and it was sheer
fantastic
elation. Yeah, it was so good.
When you say that, it's the biggest day of your life, do you wake up and think, because, as I will say, you're the only World Cup winner on the Zoom call currently. When you wake up and you think, this is the biggest day of my life, because I don't think I've ever had, I think I'd just fall to pieces if I knew that was a thing,
Yeah, and for me, I've been in 4 World Cup finals, and you have to just treat it as a normal day. The start of it has to be your normal routine. Have a laugh with your roommate, go down to breakfast, and not be too serious, especially as it's just slightly later kickoff. If you're bouncing off the wall at 7 a.m. and ready to go, you'll be knackered by the time kickoff comes. So yeah, do their normal thing till about after lunch, and then it's all like game ready in the zone. But yeah, certainly have a laugh, have your normal stuff, and then you'll be grand.
I'm loath to ask this question because it's not up to women's sport to break down barriers and break through. But has this tournament done the job of breaking down some barriers and breaking through, Rocky?
Oh, hell yeah. It's been fantastic. We are going mainstream, baby. We are all over this. Everybody's seeing how good women's rugby is, how good rugby is. It doesn't matter whether it's men's or women's. We're getting new fans into it. The brands that are backing it, the sellout stadiums. We've got sellout Twickenham Stadium state. It's absolutely
amazing.
incredible. And mainstream TV, happy days.
Yeah, 82,000 there today is great, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. We are going to be rocking, and I'm going to take some of your energy with me.
Yeah, go get it.
And we interviewed Ellie Kildunn, isn't it, before the tournament, and she had such confidence then, and to say that she was going to go. And she is. I mean, they're all great. You don't necessarily need to pick out one superstar. But it seems to be that she is, and she'd won the Ballon d'Or equivalent recently as well. What a player!
Yeah. She's the poster girl, and she's a great kid, and she just so happens scores wonder tries as well. And if I was Canada, I would not be kicking to her because she is so good. She's so elusive, you can't catch her. Her sidestep, her gas. Honestly, do not give her the ball because she will tear you apart. And then you've got other superstars. I did a Rocky's radar. Hannah Bottoman in the front row, absolute bowling ball. Will take you forward and demolish you in the scrum. And then Meg Jones in that back line as well. Zelly Kildunn. They're going to be your 3 that are going to really stand out today.
What a great description of a front row, a bowling ball. It's such a great description.
Isn't it? Like, that's what you are, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I'm a heavy bowling ball. It's all good.
And very like doing the 12, yeah. Very like doing the breakfast show on talkSPORT. You have to sidestep the gas often. So it's,
there we go. We're ready for it.
Hey, Rocky, look, thanks so much for coming on, and we wish you well. Enjoy the game this afternoon.
Thank you. Get it on, boys. Let's go.
Let's go. Come on.
Rocky Clark there, England World Cup winner, 4 o'clock kickoff, and of course keep you posted on that game as well as all the football. And that's why we had to get the we had to get the go-get-its done.
Footy Smith is saying, is the show ending at 9:30? Why is it so rushed? It's not rushed. We just got so much sport to get in, and it's the World Cup final day, so you've got to get up there first off. Straight.
Carlos in South Wales says, I can't believe I'm watching these two desperate egos again. It's like watching Soccer AM, the Rushden golden years all over again. # guilty pleasure. Great show.
Desperate
says
egos.
Carlos.
Wow.
I'll tell you, Is there there's no desperation on this show. There's
no
just
desperation.
Love. That's
it's all
there
love.
is.
You're all welcome. Everybody's welcome.
Everyone is welcome. Whoever you are, wherever you're from, etc., etc. I don't need to go into a big passion plea. You know what I mean. We welcome everyone to this show, and so we welcome Travis Perkins, Mr.
Bowling
Travis Perkins.
Trav.
He was up early listening to the AFL Grand Final on talkSPORT 2. A good win for whoever won, the Parramatta Tim Tams, and he's also sponsoring the show. So thank you, Travis. Doing what matters for the trade. Find out more at travisperkins.co.uk or download the app. Kwaku Afari will join us in just a second. A lot of Premier League to talk about.
Dan's gone into the penalty area, punishes them, rolls the ball into the bottom corner, and Brentford strike first.
I feel like we're just growing as a group. The relationships are forming, the understanding of what we're trying to achieve.
Easy easy as you like. Brentford are absolutely cruising.
Finish in Old Trafford. Manchester United 2, Chelsea 1.
We need to win the next one, and that is the most important feeling that we have to take for the next week.
This shambles of a Manchester United team.
It just looked like a bang average Premier League team. That's what they look like. That's the way it's going to be for them, I think, for the foreseeable future.
Premier League. Only one person to look ahead to. Well, there are two. There's Lars, obviously that's later, but there are only two people to talk to, and one of them is Kwaku Afari.
Let's go surfing now. Everybody's learning how.
Kwaku Afari.
Hey, welcome, Kwaku.
How you doing, guys?
Yeah, good, Kwaku.
Very good.
Nice
Thanks.
hat. Nice hat.
Yeah, you look nice for the listeners who aren't watching on a smart TV on YouTube. Kwaku's wearing a hat. That would explain that bit. Where should we start?
No, I'm just going to start saying nice hat, nice hat. And the listeners have to guess whether the person is actually wearing a hat or not. It's a new quiz. Just come up with it.
That's great. Should we start Brentford Manchester United live on talkSPORT 12:30? How do you see it, Kwaku?
Yeah, it's a tough one. Manchester United, we understand that they've not been in the best of form this season. It's been well documented, but they should be able to use the momentum of beating Chelsea last week to really push on. This is a team that has got good players objectively. The manager was highly touted before he joined the football club. It's just not gone right for them ever since he's come through the door. But I think that with Brentford, who played against Chelsea a couple of weeks ago, they don't play the best football. They are one of the teams in the league that are going to struggle. So I think Man United have got a real opportunity here to put back-to-back wins on the board for the first time in a very, very long time.
And the man who's going to cut his hair when they have 5 wins in a row. He'll be one game closer. It's going to be so heavy soon. He won't be able to get his head off the floor. Really, I don't know. I don't know what you think, Charlie. I think it's not a simple game. Brentford have been sort of tricky to work out under Keith Andrews so far. But you can never rest on Man United. You just can't bet on them.
I think Man United win this, and they win this quite easily myself. I think Mbeumo scores 2 or 3. I think this is the day that Mbeumo comes good. He'll feel good at Brentford. They'll be so cross with him. They won't know how to deal with him all game. And I can just see this being Amorim going, I won last week, I've won this week, I'm amazing. I'm keeping my job forever.
Okay. I think there are no Man United fans who are that confident. Can we talk about Chelsea-Brighton, Kwaku? You're a Chelsea fan. We had a lot of fun with Maresca's dad being a fisherman and the phone-in. What's your dad's job and what are his hours and his name? And someone rang in and just went, Ken, dead forever.
May Ken rest in peace.
May Ken rest in peace. But how are the vibes at Stamford Bridge?
The vibes are not amazing at Chelsea at the moment. It's been a difficult couple of weeks for Chelsea. It was a draw against Brentford, and then lost against Bayern Munich in the Champions League, then lost against Manchester United, and struggled against Lincoln in the League Cup. So it's been a tough couple of weeks for Enzo Maresca. He's got a few injuries as well. No Cole Palmer until after the international break. But this is a Brighton side that had been inconsistent. This is a Brighton side that did come to Stamford Bridge last year and were soundly beaten by Chelsea, but that was 4 goals from Cole Palmer. So I'm interested to see how he lines this Chelsea team up. If you speak to the Chelsea fans, they think the biggest issue is who leads the line. Obviously, they let Nicholas Jackson go, and João Pedro's not really a striker, and Liam Delap's injured. And so I think that's where Chelsea's biggest issues lie, who will lead the line. So the vibes are not amazing, but if they can get a win on the board ahead of a very, very big week, then they'll make Chelsea fans feel a lot better, because they welcome Jose Mourinho in the Champions League midweek, and then next weekend it's Liverpool, and then it's the international break. So it's a tough time for Chelsea, but I do have faith that we possibly can get a result against Brighton today.
Game of the day for me in the Premier League is Crystal Palace versus Liverpool. I think it's a cracker. Liverpool not played great, so they've played good in halves, haven't they? They've had like one good half in about 3 games. Palace been just sort of playing well and consistent and in there in a 5th, and I think this could be a really good game, Kwaku.
Oh yeah, I'm really, really excited for this one. Palace are unbeaten in all competitions in 17 games. They are playing very, very well. And if you think about the summer they had where they lost their best player in Eberechi Eze, and there was the whole kind of back and forth with Mark Guehi possibly going to Liverpool. He ended up staying in the football club. You have to give all the credit in the world to Glasner, who picked up an FA Cup last season, beat Liverpool in the Community Shield at the beginning of this season. But this Liverpool team have found a way to get it done in all competitions. So something has to give today at Selhurst Park. I do fancy Palace for the draw, though. I think Liverpool's, I won't call it luck, right? Whenever you're a champion and you win in an unconvincing manner, people tell you that that's how champions get it done, or it's the sign of champions. But I think today is the day that Liverpool's 100% record comes to an end in the Premier League. And I think Palace get a point in this one.
Gay to score, do you think, Kwaku?
Sorry?
Gay to score.
Gay to score what, and celebrate, take a shirt off? Something like that.
I think. Look, I mean, I think Liverpool is really starting to click. I mean, I know they've won all their games. That sounds daft, but I know what you mean. They have won so many games late on. Even the Carabao game against Southampton. I thought it was really interesting that he rested Wirtz or dropped Wirtz against Everton. I thought it was a really smart thing to do for a physical game. But Wirtz against Atleti looked so good. And obviously, Ekitike is suspended. So they're going to have to rely on this academy player, Alexander Isak. But I think he'll be okay. They've got some. I think Liverpool could win everything for about 10 years. Is sort of what I think. For the neutrals, we need them to drop points sooner rather than later. What else do you do? Forest Sunderland. Andrew's still looking for his first win. We were talking about it on Thursday's H&J, Charlie. I don't think Quaker. I think the signs are good. I think for Forest.
Fans are smiling, aren't they?
Yeah, the signs are good, but he does need to get a win. I think, despite the fact that it was heartbreaking fashion, that last-minute Anthony equaliser, it was a good result in midweek against Betis. Forest obviously back in Europe, playing away from home. The fans were really excited about it. It was an exciting draw last week against Burnley, but Ange does need to get a win. I think the loss against Swansea in the League Cup did put a lot of people's noses out of joint. And when you're replacing the man who's so beloved in Nuno, you do have to start putting points on the board. No one really cares about the football. In the Premier League, I think it's overstated, this style of play or that style of play. Fans just want to get 3 points every week. And that's what Ange needs to start doing. I think it's a perfect opportunity at home against the Sunderland side that have put up decent fights in recent weeks. A draw against Villa last week when they were down to 10 men. A draw against Palace the week before. These newly promoted sides are not going out without a fight. So I know not for us to have the hands full, but I think this is the weekend that Ange gets his first Premier League win as Forest manager.
At 8 o'clock tonight on talkSPORT, Spurs Wolves. We better just do a word on that. Spurs, I fancy Spurs there to thrash Wolves. They're struggling.
Yeah, Wolves are struggling. Wolves, it's weird, right? When you watch Wolves games, they're not terrible. They're in games, but they just can't get a win. And it was an interesting decision to give Vitor Pereira, a man that I really do like, a new contract when they were rooted to the bottom of the table with 0 points. And you think if this poor form continues, I don't know. They're put in a difficult position. They've given the man a contract who's rooted to the bottom of the table, can't buy a win, but they've committed their long-term future to him. And it's the Spurs side that under Thomas Frank look completely different, right? They look more resolute. All of a sudden, you look at the defenders thinking that they've got one of the best back lines in the Premier League. I fancy Spurs for this one. I think out of all the games this weekend, this is the one where you can maybe book it. The Spurs are definitely going to win.
I mean, as a Spurs fan, it is the kind of game that Spurs win well. But,
not under Thomas Frank, though. Not under Thomas Frank.
Well,
he's changed it.
Bournemouth beat them, but Bournemouth are, obviously better than Wolves significantly. So, thank you, Kwaku. Lovely to talk to you as always.
Nice one, guys. Take care.
Charlie, do you think he had a hat on because he's been rethatched? Do you think he's been rethatched?
Maybe. You think he's been to Turkey? You think Galatasaray away? That's what I start saying now. For people who've got good teeth and hair, they've been to Galatasaray away. It's like
how far away am I from a rethatching? Do you think?
They don't need a rethatch, do you? You've got good hair, haven't you? Don't you think? Or is it thinning, Max?
It's thinning.
Do you need a thin intervention? Is it there?
I don't know.
Well, you seem aware of it, so you know.
Of course, I'm aware of my own hair.
I know, but some people aren't. They aren't aware that they're thinning, and they need telling. They need.
Well, do they need telling?
They don't need telling. Leave people alone.
Do you go around town?
Just let people be.
Yeah, let people be.
A lot of people look cool.
Is that related to hair?
No, not related to anything. A lot of people.
It's like the 60s. A lot of people look cool. It's like New York in the 60s. Hey, we're going to do some Ryder Cup next. How good was yesterday? Hey, it was great for Europe. The golf was great. It is the single greatest sporting competition there is, bar none.
Too good.
Sophie Walker will join us, and we'll talk about that brilliant day and what's to come today. Morning all. Game day warm-up. No, not game day warm-up, just warm-up.
Just warm-up.
On talkSPORT today, Max Rushden, Charlie Baker with you until 11. Absolutely massive game of How Tall Are They? Tim Vine playing Paul Hawksby.
Oh, my goodness.
It's the last of the first legs, Vine v Hawksby. It's a mouth-watering match-up, isn't it? And we're playing that in about 15 minutes' time.
Yeah.
Before that, let's talk about the Ryder Cup. I just love it so much. And even when most of golf passes me by and the majors, if I'm not around, I just think, okay, but this is just, this is holding laptop, holding phone when you're trying to get the kids out of the house. And my wife is going, what are you doing? I'm like, I've just got to see if Justin Rose holds this part. Let's talk to Sophie Walker, professional golfer and broadcaster. Hey, Sophie, you okay?
Hello, Sophie.
Hello, love to hear that, Max. I was on the metro in Manchester yesterday, and me and this guy looked at each other as if to say, "Yeah, we're both on our phones watching at the same time."
And it's just there's something about the momentum shift that can happen so quickly. Like there was one, I forget who it was. Justin Rose I think it might have been DeChambeau or Griffin had hold a really long putt. And then Justin Rose stood up and he had to, and he hold this thing, and you're just like, the difference in emotion from those teams just suddenly go from we're one up to he's tied the hole or we've lost the hole. That is what makes match play and specifically the Ryder Cup so brilliant.
Yeah, it's the reactions. I mean, Justin Rose, when he's like this on his chest, and he's like, I believe in you, Tommy. Yes, we all do, Justin. We all believe.
I am stuck between wanting to win 14-0 at all times and for it to be a great, great Ryder Cup. And you just feel like you score so few points for so much work that I think that's part of the beauty of it. 1 point or half a point for 18 holes is just such slow process, but it's just so exciting.
It is. Hey, and Scheffler, he's only won half a point in like 6 or 7 matches. That's going to be the key. Europe's got to keep Scheffler and Bryson DeChambeau off the board as long as possible. That's going to silence that cry.
They look like they want to go home, Sophie. They don't look like they're enjoying it. They don't look like the crowd's revving them up. Scheffler looks just unhappy all the time. Bryson DeChambeau has sort of found that his distance does nothing for him on this course. I think they've made the course slightly too, I'm not going to say easy because it would obviously be impossible if I played it, but for pro golfers, the rough doesn't seem to be any sort of trouble. There's not a lot of water. They seem to be able to stick it within pin high every single hole. It seems a bit too simple. So they've taken out, the Americans have taken out with the course design. What is there what can benefit them?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yesterday, I felt that the Europeans, their iron play was better, but they hold putts. It took Scheffler till the 15th to hold a putt yesterday afternoon. And then with that, Rahm went bam on top of you. And then Straka went bam on top of you. Yeah. So it's the momentum, it's the emotion of it all. And that's why it looks like they've had it sucked out of them, because they're there with their red, white and blue on. They're desperate to make the crowd go crazy. Are you standing over a putt thinking, if this drops, what's going to happen? I'm going to go bonkers. And then it doesn't. And the flat line of just silence.
Yeah, beautiful.
Music to the Europeans' ears.
I love it. Yeah.
How carried away should the Europeans get at 5.5, 2.5 up?
Well, when we win the first day, we win the Ryder Cup. Just saying. Saying. But I think as fans, we can get carried away. I think the lads will not. Almost it was a good thing, McIlroy and Lowry not winning last night, because then that would have put it into like, this is ours to blow type thing. Which that's a good thing, I believe. But fans, we can get carried away. We're only 25% through the match. Remember that. We're only a quarter of the way through. But we are getting better at singles over the last few Ryder Cups. But we can get carried away. They will not. What's important is Rahm, Fleetwood, Rory need big Ryder Cups. And they've had a big first day. They need 2 more of them.
Yeah, Brookline was 10-6.
Was it? Yeah, was it 10-6? Was it? Interestingly, the foursomes are the same as yesterday, which because the foursomes were so good, it's the same pair. Not necessarily the same order, but that is when you've won the foursomes 3-1. How good to just stick them out again.
Yeah, but look at the Americans. They've had one change. So Cameron Young has come in for Justin Thomas.
Yeah, he was good.
And they've carried on with Harry English and Colin Morikawa, which, I mean, you listen to it on the TV and the radio, and they're like, why are these two together? Like, they are the least compatible pairing. But instead of panicking, Bradley is stuck to the plan. So I think that's quite a good thing for the Americans, because normally it's like, let's rip up the plan and go again. It can't be as bad for the Americans today. It really can't. But we are good at foursomes, and I just love seeing Tyrrell and Rahm bully them.
Yeah.
We look like we've got men at the minute playing, and they look like boys, and we need to keep it that way.
Ram's only ever lost one singles match. That's all he's ever lost. V. Scotty Scheffler in 2014.
Here's a question, and I don't know if none of us will know the answer, but it's so obvious, right, that we're the goodies and they're the baddies. Like, it's so obvious. Do they know they're the baddies? Do you think they know? You know, when they chest pump each other, you know. Do you think they think they're the baddies, or do they think? You know, it's that. I can't remember. It's David Mitchell.
David Mitchell. Yeah.
What do you think, Sophie? They must know they're the bad guys.
I think a few of them are so unaware, and that's maybe an issue. I think Cantley absolutely knows he's the bad guy. And guess what? He's been the best player on the American team. He owns his position. The rest of them are so desperate to make this legacy, to wear the flag, and they've got this, you know, their arm on the chest, that they want it almost too much.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think they don't understand it like the Europeans understand it. And we keep going on about it, but the Europeans just get it. I mean, Tyrrell Hatton and John Rahm, they play on LIV, but it does not matter when they come and play for Europe. It's about history and the fact that Justin Rose, that continuity, 7 Ryder Cups, the belief, they go back to Seve. It's, you know, look, we talk about it now with football. It's what United used to have and now have lost. And it's really hard to find. And Europe have got it, and America haven't had it for a long time.
Yeah, when you look at the team, when you look at the captains there, and you've got Alathabal there and the Molinari brothers, and just sort of history there helping them along. It's such a brilliant event. It's just the best.
Yeah, but see, with our vice captains, you don't look at them and think, oh my God, what amazing golf. I mean, I know Francesco Molinari is a major winner, but they're not like the most people that support golf or watch golf wouldn't necessarily even know they are. But the way that they just build together and respect for each other. And then I look at the American team and I'm just like, oh, Kevin Kisner, why? Like, he comes up and he's like fist pumping Bryson, and it doesn't go.
He was good. He was good in Dances with Wolves, though. He was great in that, wasn't he?
This is going to be so bad when they beat us.
Oh, awful! They'll be pinning this interview up on the dressing room wall.
Yeah, well, I didn't expect to be saying this today. I really didn't. I thought the Americans would be better than this, so I know that they're going to come out better. However, the lead is very, very good, like more than we could have expected.
Yeah.
Come on. Thank you, Sophie. I enjoyed this conversation. Have a good day. Enjoy it.
I will do. Thanks. Cheers, guys.
Sophie Walker there, pro golfer and broadcaster.
Abby says, hi, guys, can you kindly confirm whether Sophie is wearing a hat or not?
No continuity in this show.
She's furious.
No hat. No hat. And the good news, Charlie, is if we win this year Ryder Cup, we rejoin the EU.
Well, that's good.
And I know everyone's bang up for that, so good stuff.
Yes.
Okay, how tall are they next? Massive. You thought the Ryder Cup's big. It's not as big as Tim Vine versus Paul Hawksby.
Hello? I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl who looked
So here
good.
we go. It's time for the final first leg of How Tall Are They? This is how the last 16 has gone, by the way. You'll remember back in August, Richard Guy Bristow, normal person, member of the public, beat Barry Glendenning 1-0. Perry Groves won 1-0 away at Danny Kelly. Nigel Adley won 1-0 away at Rupert Bell. A 1-1 draw between Lars Sivertson and Kevin Day. Ollie Klink is 2-1 up on Adrian Clark. Kwaku Afari 2-0 lead over Shane Parrott, also normal person. And then that massive win. The highest scorer in the first legs, Graham the Judge Courtney, of course, with a 3-1 win.
Guilty.
Over Umagurov. Guilty. Send him down.
Guilty as charged.
Absolutely huge game. When this came out of the hat, they were like, they're saving this for TV. And we really are. Because at home today, it's Tim Vine.
I'm in love with her.
And I'm Tim Vine.
Baby, searching but I
I'm in love with him and he's Tim Vine.
Welcome, Tim. How are you, Tim?
Hello, Tim.
I'm very well. I can't wait. Come on, let's do this. I've been looking at people's heights for the last, for my whole life, actually.
Okay,
good stuff. Okay, I like that. He's in there. He wants to get on with it.
He's
No
just
small talk.
He's just woken
no
up.
Fluff.
He wants to go back to sleep.
I've just woken up. I admit it. I've just woken up.
He wants to just go back to sleep and play the heights.
That's how he plays the game.
That's how he did. He's so relaxed.
Exactly. Yeah. I was dreaming of different heights.
Okay, well, listen, you have a very tough opponent because it's the radio behemoth that is Paul Hawksby.
Everybody's favourite.
Oh, what a glorious
thing to be healthy, grown-up Paul Hawksby.
Hey, while time is right, building up the little like stripes.
I'd like to be Paul Hawksby, about as busy as Hawksby be.
Flying all around the wide
little pum pum.
Now, this is exciting, Paul, because you're back in the
woods. He's back in the woods
where you found the deer carcass. So, how are things?
Back in the woods. No, that is long been consumed by the dog. That would be very fetid. That was about 2 years ago. She dug the deer carcass out of the bushes.
Yeah, so, could have been pickled. Could have been pickled in the last 2 years. That'd be nice to serve at dinner party. Shay Hawksby, wouldn't it? Okay, how are you feeling, Paul? Away to Tim Vine, tough place to go.
Well, absolutely a tough place to go. He's a seasoned pro. He's a man with a great memory, and I don't doubt for a moment he has been looking up people's heights and
cheap,
remembered them all.
Trash talk.
Trash talk. Are you happy with that, Tim? Are you happy with what Paul has to say?
I wasn't expecting this. I've always got on with Paul, but it's getting a little bit grudge matchy. But I'm ready.
Okay, let's play, everybody. Let's play.
Come on, let's go.
Okay, it is a Ryder Cup special, everybody. So we start with you, Tim Vine. You're at home. How tall is Ryder Gudjonsson? Ryder Gudjonsson, also known as Ida Gudjonsson. If you didn't get the pun, Tim,
it's called a pun, Tim.
Yeah, it's called a pun.
Look it up.
Not really into puns, really, but I'm going to say he's. I think he's not as tall as you'd think. I think he's 6 foot.
6 foot, Paul Hawksby.
I think Tim's pretty close, but I'll say something different. I'll go 5'11 and a half.
Ooh, Regals.
Wrong way, Regals. Wrong way, Regals. 6 foot 1.
6 foot 1.
6 foot 1. Big old Ryder. Big old Ryder.
Yeah, we move on. Paul Hawksby, how tall is Gimme Floyd Hasselbank? Gimme Floyd Hasselbank.
Of Strictly Come Dancing.
Gimme Floyd Hasselbank.
Yes. Gimme Floyd Hasselbank.
Yeah, of course, Strictly. He looks. I mean, he was called the big man up front, wasn't he? I mean, not Voldemar the big, but still big. I'd say 6'2".
6'2", Tim Vine.
6'1".
6'1". Now it says here 5'10", and
I think that's right.
Yeah.
No, I'm not dubious. I think 5'10". He's a little box of a man.
Okay.
Tiny little box.
5'10" it is. It's still 0-0. It's still 0-0.
It's a tiny man. Okay, back to you, Tim Vine. Still 0-0.
Yeah.
How tall is Asmiracle at Medina Begovic? Asmiracle at Medina Begovic. Asmir Begovic, Tim, if you didn't get the pun. How tall is he?
Like explaining puns to Tim Vine. It's great.
Really fun.
I didn't and still don't. Let me just think about it. Yeah, okay. I can't visualise him.
Oh.
Okay, that's an issue.
So I'm going to go with 6'1".
6'1", Paul Hawksby.
Paul Hawksby. In the woods.
Can you visualise Asmir Begovic? To give you an advantage.
6 foot.
6 foot. He's 6'6".
He's 6'6". The heights are way out. Listen, you guys.
Terrible game. This is Charlie.
Who's done that?
These two frauds.
Have these two ever played before?
Oh no, I was thinking of somebody else. Yeah,
you weren't. Yeah. You weren't visualising Asmir Begovic.
It's the torturous Ryder Cup puns that are throwing me.
What I like about Paul, if anyone's watching Paul on the TV, is that he looks like he's a terrible golfer and constantly in the trees.
He's just doing that all the time.
But I also like. I also like the fact that the one moment where two people on this earth needed to visualise Asmir Begovic and they both didn't.
They both couldn't. Yeah. Let's move on. Let's move on with how tall are they? Paul Hawksby.
That was my problem.
Okay, yeah,
yes, Paul.
Yeah.
Paul, who did you have? Who were you visualising?
I was focusing on Isle Berkovic.
Oh no! Wow! You've got to have a system. You've got to have a system, Paul.
You've got to have a system, yeah.
Sammy Kafour, Paul Hawksby. How tall is he? Sammy Kafour. Sammy Kafour. How tall is the defender?
Former Bayern Munich defender, of course.
Yeah. 6'1".
6'1", he says. Tim Vine. Sammy Kafour.
6'2".
He's 5'10". It's still 0-0. It's an absolute. It's absolute dross. Wow. We move on.
What time are you off here?
That's every other text we get, Paul. Are you texting the show all the time? David says, just quick note from a shorter gent, 5'10" is not tiny. I'd kill a man for those numbers.
Wow,
he says. All right, here we go. Tim Vine, finally. This is just a normal golfer playing in the Ryder Cup at the moment. Gianfranco Zola. How tall? For the win, Gianfranco Zola.
Gianfranco Zola? Oh, now that's a different kettle of fish altogether. Okay. Gianfranco Zola. Okay, I'm going to say he's taller than the Queen, who's 5'3", of course. Same height as Jockey Wilson.
Got to have a system.
The Queen and Jockey Wilson stood next to each other. I just can't picture it.
Oh, you didn't see that game then? Great game. Jockey won 2-6.
One is in the madhouse.
I'm going to say 5'4". Is that crazy?
5'4". Goes over to Paul Hawksbee. Key now is whether Paul Hawksbee is visualising Gianfranco Zola. That would be what he needs to do.
That's true. Oh dear, he's breaking up. He's gone into the woods, too far into the woods.
A bit taller.
Oh yeah.
5'8". 5'8".
Oh, 5'6". 5'6". The board draw.
Terrible 0-0.
Tim Vine 0. Paul Hawksbee 0.
Wow.
You two. That's 10 minutes of radio you two have used up with that absolute garbage. Nothing.
Absolute rubbish.
Nothing to do with us.
Absolute filth.
But that's it. Paul went to Tim Vine away. He parked the bus.
He did.
The game was always going to be terrible. That was his system.
Even Paul's phone voted against that at the end.
Paul's phone was breaking down.
Hey, thank you, chaps. Thank you, chaps. What a game. Next leg is in about 6 months' time. So hopefully you'll be better than that next time. God,
Wow,
what
a stinker.
Total embarrassment. Adam says these two genial old buffers won't be troubling the latter stages of how tall are they? Bless them, he says.
Oh, wow. Wow, what a shame.
Good stuff.
I like that Paul went to the woods. He went to his woods thinking they were lucky, I think.
Do you think
I'll go to the lucky woods.
He went to the woods because he was ashamed he was playing the game. Let's be real.
Hiding it from his wife.
The rest, and anybody who knows him. He's actually, do you know where he is? He's in Nova Scotia. That's what he flew to Canada,
He's gone.
Late yesterday night. As soon as the show finished yesterday, he went, I'm off to Nova Scotia.
God,
no one can know. Lars Simonson joins us in just a second, and we will look ahead to more of the Premier League weekend.
More green jackets have been lost at the 12th than at the Augusta City Dry Cleaners. Rory McIlroy knows this better than most. But what is Amen Corner and why is it so iconic? The famous sequence has always been there since the Masters began in 1934. It didn't get its name until '58, though, when American sports writer Herbert Warren Wind, on the left, wrote, "At the farthest reach of the Augusta National Course, down in the Amen Corner." He drew inspiration from the 1933 jazz song Shouting in That Amen Corner by the Dorsey Brothers. The reason behind its difficulty is all in the sand and the water. Tournament officials don't even bother to count the balls lost in there each year, such is the sheer number. The 11th, named White Dogwood, is a downhill 520-yard par 4 with a pond to the left of the green and a bunker to the right. Both cause a lot of trouble each year. The 12th, Golden Bell, is perhaps the most famous hole in the world, with danger everywhere. Many aim for the flag, but look, get it even slightly wrong, and you're in the azaleas at the back, or the bunkers at the front, or even worse, Ray's Creek. Or you can play it safe and aim for the open green on the left. You chicken. Tiger Woods once said, if you make 4 bogeys from Thursday to Sunday, you're doing well. And the highest ever score on that hole? 13. It's a par 3. Tom Weiskopf in 1980 was the sorry soul. Often the iconic Ben Hogan Bridge is the only thing players enjoy about Golden Bell. Even if you escape there unscathed, though, you met with Azalea, the dogleg par 5 13th. It tempts players to go for the green in 2, but cut over those trees on the left at your peril. Every year, it seems, Amen Corner destroys someone's dreams. Rory McIlroy dropped 3 shots through here as his round unravelled in 2011. In 2016, a year after navigating Amen Corner expertly, Jordan Spieth shot a quadruple bogey on the 12th to throw away his green jacket. I mean, it sounds like my game, to be honest. So who'll be the next to be brought to their knees, praying for mercy after Amen Corner?
Destination football on talkSPORT with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
Lars.
Meditation Dan says, I'm absolutely loving that ever so slight time delay on the singing is back now. Max is home in Australia. Normal service has been resumed. I find this bit, Lars, the heart of all the singing we do. Trying to get the Lars, the pitch of the Lars. It's quite difficult. I mean, you probably don't try it yourself unless you sing your own theme tune when you walk around the house.
Maybe I should.
Yeah, would
nice. This feature be even better if I started singing my own name?
You should sing along as well, Lars.
The pitch was higher this time, I noticed. The pitch was definitely higher than usual.
Was it in tune? I mean, was it in tune? That's what matters.
It was
Lars
a
would know.
tune. I'm just not sure it was in the tune. I mean, if you know what I mean.
Lars would know because this is true, isn't it? You were the Norwegian euphonium champion, young euphonium champion of the year.
Euphonium of the year.
You're embellishing that quite a bit, but I do have a dark past in the Norwegian brass band community. That is true.
Wow.
There we are, which does sound like a euphemism. But anyway, let's get on with the games. Brentford, Manchester United, live on talkSPORT. Charlie thinks Man United will hammer Brentford. I'm not so sure. What do you think, Lars?
So I feel like this is very on brand because this is what we do with Man United. We're always a little manic depressive about this football team. It's either everything's a disaster, manager has to be sacked yet again, all the players are terrible, and then the second anything goes a little bit right for them, it's Man United are back. We're back now. We're back to the 90s. Everything is fine again. And I guess because they won against Chelsea, so Man United are back. That's how this works. That's how reporting. If we're being semi-serious for a minute, what I do like about Man United is that I think they're, after 5 games, looking at their sort of numbers, their attacking stuff is going pretty good. Like they're producing quite a lot of shots per game, which we kind of expected, given that they added Cunha, who likes a shot. Sesko, as you heard at the top of the hour, of course, hasn't scored, hasn't had a great start, but he did. He gets shots off. But also their XG is high. Like we're 5 games into the season now, we can start looking a little bit at the XG, and they've actually produced the highest XG in the league so far. United has. That is quite promising. That's a good thing. Defense not so solid, but I'm starting to see like little signs that maybe something is getting better.
Brentford can't seem to score any goals, Lars. No, and we were. Listen, it's still a little bit early, but I think the worry was always a little bit about what happens when Thomas Frank leaves there. I mean, he's been there for so long. He's been such a pivotal part of everything they've built up. It's possible that Keith Andrews could grow into that role, but I think keeping Everton in that sort of, and keeping Brentford in that sort of safe mid-table position they've been in with the squad they have, with the resources they have, it's not a small job. And yeah, so far it's looking like they've not replaced Frank that well.
Speaking of Frank, Spurs Wolves also live on talkSPORT. We're going to talk Wolves with Jackie Oatley in a little bit, but just from a Spurs point of view, as a Spurs, you do feel like this is the game that everyone turns up and goes, Spurs will just roll them over, and then they won't. Should we feel more confident under Thomas Frank?
Is that because, again, speaking of slightly manic depressive coverage, because I got to a point where I started to feel very good about Spurs again, and then the Bournemouth game happened, and then I did not feel quite as good about them. I mean, we're trying to learn from our mistakes now. On a more analytical note, maybe I feel like the trend so far with Thomas Frank's Spurs is that because his number one priority has been to fix the defense, and rightly so, they do look so much more organized and so much more solid than they did last season. But maybe their passing game is not quite where it were. And I think that's fine. I think when you have this nightmare season when you're one of the worst defenses in the league and you finish where you finish, you do need to rebuild this and find solidity, and you want to develop something. But maybe, bizarrely, at this point in their development, Spurs almost look more comfortable playing against strong opponents than against the teams where you expected to dominate, as they will be against Wolves. And in that regard, even though Wolves, of course, have had a very difficult start to the season, lost all their games, this is kind of an interesting test for Spurs to see if they can actually take charge of a game, have a lot of possession, move the ball well, and not just defend well and rely on set pieces. So it should be an interesting one.
Man City, Burnley, but Scott Parker's management technique appears to be, in the Premier League, hold, and get the draw, or go 1-0 up and hold. A bit like Pep Guardiola in the second half last week, the Arsenal.
That was fascinating, wasn't it? Now,
I didn't understand it at all, Lars, that second half.
It's interesting. Well, I mean, what Guardiola was saying after the game, of course, he was suggesting that you have to take into account the week they had. They had the Manchester Derby, which takes a lot of energy. Then they had a game in the Champions League, and then they went straight into a big game away to Arsenal. So, and he also suggested that something that what was the phrase he used? Something about how, like, he has a way he wants to play, but if you can't do it, sometimes you have to find a different way. Like, he was suggesting almost that his team are maybe not ready to play entirely the way he wants to do. I mean, he has quite a lot of new guys in there now. That's possible. I do also wonder, I wonder if we take Pep Guardiola's history and his ideology, almost like his view of football, completely out of the picture, and you look at this squad that City has, and you think, what is the most dangerous weapon they have, I would argue, is Erling Haaland on the counter. Like if you can get Erling Haaland running into space, you just absolutely. It's yeah. And now that to do that, you do kind of have to sit back a little bit. Like if you have 75% possession and sort of to get those opportunities on the counter, you have to let the opponent have the ball a little bit. And maybe there is an element of using the sort of countering strengths of Haaland. Maybe this is something they're going to play to a little bit more this season, pressing a little bit less, letting the opponents have a little bit more of the ball, but then getting more opportunities on the counter. That would also kind of explain why you signed a goalkeeper like Gigi Donnarumma, who's more of a shot stopper than this sort of sweeper type of guy. All that being said, I'm not expecting this sort of stylistic potential change to be that visible
please
against
park the
Burnley.
bus against Burnley. Please do that, Pep. How great would that be?
At home against... So I think, having just spent quite a lot of airtime talking about my big galaxy brain theory of Pep's tactical evolution, suspect it'll just be more of the same old ton of possession, passing triangle stuff, because it is home to Burnley.
Palace, Liverpool, the two unbeaten teams remaining in the Premier League. How do you see it going, Lars?
I think this is the one for me. Like if I have to pick one game that I'm excited about this weekend, I think this is it, because I think Palace have been very, very good. But I don't think Palace have been very, very good. I know they've been very, very good. As you say, they're unbeaten, but also now that we have 5 games in, we have a bit of a sample size. I like to start looking at the numbers and the stats. And if you look at sort of the XG difference, the XG created minus XG conceded, they've actually got the second best numbers in the league, just behind Arsenal. So Palace have been just really good. Just no ifs or buts about it. I mean, very, very solid start. And I'm interested to see. I mean, it's going to be one of the great what ifs, isn't it? If with Palace these last couple of years, if they'd been able to hang on to their best players with this coach, how far could they have gone? Maybe that's a pointless thing to think about, but I think it's still kind of interesting to think about it.
And on that note, they've got to keep hold of the coach as well, Lars.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're kind of building towards here. You remember, Oliver Glasner is he's not a nobody in international football. Like, he's a guy who took Wolfsburg to the Champions League in Germany. Not an easy thing to do. He won the Europa League with Frankfurt. So I think Palace getting him was a bit of a get for them. Was a bit of a coup. I kind of suspect he will have looked at that job as somewhere it can be a bit of a calling card. You know, he can show bigger clubs, particularly in England, that he can manage in this league, that he can get it done in this league. And I feel like he's done that now. I think that's been pretty firmly established. And the next time a job becomes available at one of the biggest, richest clubs in England, I think his name will be pretty high on that list. And if you're Palace, then you do wonder if he's kind of done what he came there to do.
It's interesting you say Arsenal are top of that list of, sort of XG differential, given all the, lots of people going, Mikel Arteta is a surrendering coward and should never be allowed out of his house ever again. I mean, Newcastle away is another. They've had a tough start to the season, and I can see the arguments why they could have done more at Liverpool. It was a brilliant goal that lost that game. They found it hard to break down Man City, but who was expecting Man City to defend like that? I feel this is a pivotal game, even if the numbers are showing actually Arsenal are really delivering this season.
Yeah, so without turning this into the Lars reads the XG table segment, because nobody wants that.
It's become that too late already, Lars.
Well, yeah.
I'm here for it.
So Arsenal are high in this ranking because they have the second best defensive record in the league, and their attacking numbers are like the 5th or 6th best or something, but the average between that makes them top of the pile because they've both attacked quite well and defended very well. The best defensive team in the league on the XG is actually Newcastle. So you do wonder if this could be quite of a stingy one when the two come together, because these are the teams that have, by the numbers, been the tightest defensively so far this season. I'm kind of with you. I think Arteta gets a little bit too much criticism sometimes. I think he maybe doesn't get enough credit for restoring Arsenal to the position where they are. But you also feel, Liverpool away and you lose to a free kick from that was hit from the other side of town. Okay, that can happen. 1-1 draw against City, not a terrible result. But I do wonder in these occasions, like, you were playing a Liverpool team who, yes, they're top of the league and have won all their games, but before Arsenal faced them, they'd had that slightly wild game against Newcastle. They looked kind of vulnerable when they played Bournemouth. Like, they're not some unstoppable juggernaut, and Arsenal just seemed a little bit more timid than I thought they had to be in that game. A similar story with City. City well beaten by Spurs, well beaten by Brighton. Okay, City are a good team, but I still don't think maybe Arteta offered them a little bit more respect than you need to at this point. So while none of those games were like disasters and results you can explain and justify and whatever, do you feel like if Arsenal are going to take that next step and go all the way and not just be a very good second place team and actually win something, I do kind of think those are the occasions they need to step up and do it. And certainly away to a very stingy, very defensively solid Newcastle up there at St. James's Park, that's a real test, I think. That's a kind of game where you can very easily drop points, but you need to make sure you don't, because the gap to Liverpool are already 5 points. You don't want it to get any bigger this weekend.
He looks at the numbers, so none of us have to bother, and we appreciate it greatly. Thank you, Lars.
Beautiful, Lars. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Have a great weekend.
That was a look ahead to some of the players that we feel will be here for it and deliver this weekend with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. We'll be speaking to Jackie Oatley, footballing royalty. Jackie Oatley, Wolves fan, broadcaster, commentator. We'll talk about Wolves. They go to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's live on talkSPORT, 8 o'clock tonight.
Destination Football on talkSPORT with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk.
is London. It is Tottenham Hotspur who are the most recent trophy winners.
We want to go to the next level, and we believe with this squad of players, with Thomas Frank in charge, he can take us to the next level.
It's clearly want to attack, it's clearly want to create, we scored.
That mixture of fire and ice, that sort of determination, that desire to win.
Put a shoot this time, he's not going to miss. It's into the top corner.
With the new additions and the way our coach sets up to play, it might be a bit crazy going out here, but I think 6th, 5th would be great for me. That's what I'd expect.
Wolves booed off after suffering 5 defeats from 5.
In a week when the manager got a new 3-year contract.
I think the majority of Wolves fans would say I'd rather get relegated and frost and sell the club because fans are sick of them.
I look at Wolves, I like Strand Larsen, I think he could get the goals, but yeah, I would be slightly concerned.
I actually think it is about staying in the Premier League, and that is a concern.
Morning all, it is the warm-up on talkSPORT. Max and Charlie with you until 11. Paul Hawksby's been in touch, by the way, Charlie.
Okay, yeah.
He says, I'll shoot a fresh deer for the replay and let Molly drag it round the woods. Important to clarify that Molly is his dog, not his wife. That is a very important clarification.
Yeah.
He never lets Mrs. Hawksby drag deer carcasses around the woods. That's just around town. That's the way he likes to do these things. You just heard there, Tottenham Wolves, looking at that 8 o'clock kickoff tonight live on talkSPORT. Let's talk to Wolves fan broadcaster Jackie Oatley. Hey, Jackie.
Hello, Jackie.
It's been a long time. How are you?
Hello, I'm well, thanks. That was me thinking I was coming on being nice and neutral, and you just blow my cover straight away. Cheers, Max.
We don't have to be neutral on this show. It's weird if a commentator didn't support a football team. Do you want to pretend to be neutral? Because I was going to just say, look, I'm not a football expert, Jackie, but 0 points does not seem very many.
Do you know, it's not a lot of points out of 5 games, is it? I mean, I've seen them take a few more points in the time, even in terrible relegation seasons. No, I mean, 0 points from 5 games is shocking in itself. There are reasons for that, I would suggest, in that they completed the end of last season pretty badly after that phenomenal run of 6 wins in a row, which Vitor Pereira oversaw, which lifted them above the relegation zone, and they stayed up with a fair bit to spare. And it was incredible what he did then. But the key thing was always going to be the loss of Matheus Cunha, Ryan Aït-Nouri, inevitable, but how were they going to replace them? Because they already needed to improve on what they were doing last season. So the fans were looking at the situation saying, OK then, Chairman Jeff Shee, how are you going to, A, replace their quality, even if it's spread over the rest of the number of players that you bring in? And how are you going to start the season better than last season? What are you going to do? And unfortunately, the recruitment in the summer took so long to come to fruition, and that obviously can happen for a variety of reasons, but with George Mendes still kind of lurking in the background, nobody really knows exactly how his role works in terms of transfers, as well as the new person who's replaced Matt Hobbs, in effect, who's now at Crystal Palace, who was the sporting director. They've had a change of ownership there. So the fans aren't really sure about how that's gone on behind the scenes and why it's taken so long for new players to come in. And obviously, they haven't been able to replace the talent of Matheus Cunha, as you wouldn't expect. He went for an absolute bargain, £62.5 million. That was his get-out clause. John Arias has come in, £15 million from Fluminense. Hasn't played very well, frankly, at all. And David Moller-Wolf, £12 million from AZ Alkmaar, can't even get in the side as a replacement for Aït-Nouri. So the new signings haven't come off. A very late signing was Ladislav Krejci from Girona. Now, he does look a player and he looks like a leader, but elsewhere on the pitch, leadership is really, really in short supply. Totti, the captain, a lot of fans think he shouldn't be in the side at the moment. Just briefly, because you probably want to come back with another question, but the big standout situation this season is what on earth has happened to centre-half, the giant centre-half, Emmanuel Agbadou, who signed in January, was an absolute rock at the back. The fans idolised him. He was phenomenal. And then he was dreadful in pre-season. You're thinking, OK, maybe he's just going to take a while to get going. And he's been shocking in every single game, giving the ball away, gifting it straight to midfielders and then go on to score. And he's still playing and he's still starting. So that's the big question today, is whether he will be selected, because there are other options.
I'm glad you put Ocking on the end of that long Jackie, just then. I thought George Mendes' role was to buy everybody called João or Gomez or Neves. The point when João Neves plays for PSG, I'm like, surely he must have been a Wolves player at some point. Are the issues for fans more because Pereira's got this new contract, which is quite interesting when someone started so badly?
Yeah.
Are the fans' frustrations focused more above that, as you sort of intimated with recruitment, and more about ownership and recruitment than the manager themselves?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I think normally when there's no points from 5 games, people look at the manager, right? But in Wolves' situation, everybody's looking at the chairman, Jeff Shee, who doesn't communicate very often. And when he does, he doesn't give answers to any of the questions the fans have. You know, the stadium, this big new stadium that was promised years ago, barely a lick of paint. Okay, a little bit more than that, but only because fans really were fuming with price rises at the start of last season, which they then backtracked on. So leadership is massively the problem in terms of the fans' eyes. That's what they think everybody else should be focusing more on as well, rather than just the football and the manager, who clearly came in and did an incredible job last season. But he looks like a changed man. He looks like all the other managers who've come in with great enthusiasm and gusto, and then haven't got the players they've been promised, and then gone off with a payoff, feeling terrible about life, and new manager comes in and rinse and repeat. So I think the new contract after 4 games with no points was probably a shock to a lot of people, and they're thinking, well, why have you done that? But I think it's more a case of it had been promised towards the end of last season and it hadn't quite materialised yet, and having a manager in this situation with no job security at all was seen as being really not healthy. So what's in that contract, whether there are many clauses in there, who knows? But I think it was trying to give the manager some stability, because he clearly hasn't had the signings that he's wanted, although there are some positives in there. It's not all doom and gloom, and I do actually think they can still get out of it.
So you travel today to everything you've just described, Jackie. Spurs have the big shiny new stadium. They have a manager who seems to have got all the transfer targets that he wanted. They seem to have an exciting future. Do you travel with any hope at all today?
Well, with no goals away from home this season, having failed to score.
Can you see a way you might win other than it's Spurs? Yeah.
Yeah, well, yes. They have a fantastic recent record against Tottenham, bizarrely. They do, although I never really pay too much attention to records because they're different players, different signings and all the rest of it. So I think there's always hope, absolutely. I mean, I think every away team's going to look at Bournemouth and what they did earlier in the season to do a number on Tottenham and try to replicate that. The thing that really struck me, lads, was listening to Hugo Bueno, who has been a real positive this season, having come back off loan from Feyenoord and taken the place recently of Aït-Nouri ahead of David Moller-Wolfer. He's been fantastic. And I heard an interview with him, and he said twice in that interview, hopefully we'll go there with the right attitude. Hopefully. That's a bit of a concern.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, first time he said it, kind of journalistically, you know, when you editing your audio over the years in radio and what have you, you listen for a line. And that, for me, pricked my ears up when he said, hopefully we go there with the right attitude. Then he repeated it. And I thought, this is not good. And I think there are some players there who have an excellent attitude. And some this season, frankly, have looked as though they need to look at themselves. That is for sure. So along those lines of what Hugo Bueno said, I think that's true. And I agree with him that if they can be bothered to get themselves together and come together and make themselves as good as the sum of their parts, ideally greater from their perspective, then yes, they absolutely can get a point or 3. They can. They have talent, for goodness sake. They have João Gomez, they have Andre, 2 Brazil midfielders. Krejci has been a really positive addition, but the insecurity in the back line is the main concern. The fact that you don't know whether Mosquera is going to play. Is Agbadou going to get another start despite being absolutely shocking this season? Matt Doherty, former Tottenham player, so reliable, so dependable. I personally think he's massively underrated. Matt Doherty didn't even get in the squad the other day, which was a big concern given the lack of leadership, and he is so reliable. So nobody knows how they're going to play defensively. And they've had all the upheaval, of course, with Jurgen Strand Larsen, who was the number 9, great lad, great character, fantastic player, massively had his head turned by the Newcastle situation. Was he promised he could go and then they didn't sign replacements? Jeff Shee apparently put his foot down, which was the right thing in the fans' eyes, but then he's really unsettled and he's had this Achilles problem too. So if he can ideally start and if he can show some of the form that he's he's in the side for, then absolutely they can get something. But they will need to really, really put on a performance today to nullify some of Tottenham's threats. They're likely to have the majority of the ball, but they can do some damage on the counter.
Jackie, to change the subject, and much more importantly, and when anybody dies, people say nice things. But after we heard the news about Matt Beard, what has been quite incredible has been just the sheer number of people who have been affected, who have said such amazing things about this man and what he meant to them, what he meant to women's football, what he was like as a coach, as a manager, and as a person. And you knew Matt Beard, you set up a Just Giving for his family, which has been quite incredible, hasn't it?
Well, I mean, the response has been absolutely mind-blowing, genuinely. I mean, I spoke to Matt's wife, Debbie, on Monday, actually after being on talkSPORT, at exactly this time on Monday morning, and she rang me up afterwards and was just so lovely, so devastated, as you can imagine. And I just felt so helpless. I just thought this wonderful, wonderful human being who was genuinely so loved, genuinely by his players, by opposition players, for goodness sake. Everybody knew him, had been in the game so long, had come through from when I first knew him over 20 years ago as Charlton Women's assistant manager, when he was full-time as an estate agent, and then at Chelsea, and got into the cup final despite still working as an estate agent. All these years, the people that he'd come to know, that come to love him, he was so genuine. He knew so much. He was overlooked for big jobs. He was not appreciated by the game, by people in authority in the game, I should say, who perhaps could have given him bigger jobs or kept him in bigger jobs had he had the budgets that matched the size of the clubs that he was at. Yes, that's a dig, but yes, it's also true. He did incredible jobs. And so when he died tragically in such tragic circumstances last Saturday night, and people didn't see it coming, people even close to him who'd spoken to him didn't see it coming, what he was going to do, it left that feeling of absolute devastation, but helplessness. Everybody felt so helpless. So that's when I suggested the Just Giving page, because it was just a case of wanting to do something practical, and all this love, support, kindness that was shown to people, shown to the family verbally. I just wanted to try and find a means to translate that into something meaningful that could really help Debbie and the family in a practical sense. And I thought 5K was ambitious when I clicked the button and went, okay, go on, let's put that as the target. And just 4 days later, the messages, the donations, everything from people in the game who have made such a practical difference to this family now, so that they can get on with the process of grieving and planning the funeral and all the rest of it, and not worrying about the practical stuff, which doesn't go away when somebody passes away. In fact, it can obviously magnify the situation. But just, I don't speak for the family at all, but I just know that they are so super grateful to all those people who have been so kind, and it has really acted as something of a comfort blanket around their shoulders at such a devastating time.
Yeah. So far, you've raised over £50,000, I think it is. And if people listening want to donate anything that they can, Jackie, what do they do? Just Google Jackie Oatley Just Giving?
Yeah, or it's on my social media, or Just Giving, and it's Matt-Beardy is the name. So, right. But yes, you can just search for the Just Giving page for Matt Beard and it will come up. But it's just been, I think, it's just been a real sign and a real show of support for the person that he was. And it's just so sad. There will be more discussed, of course, in due course when the family are ready to talk about it, and that's up to them. But, you know, if I can just add that if anybody listening to this is suffering, is feeling as if they're alone in the world, is feeling as though the problems that are currently engulfing them are starting to really weigh them down, and they're kind of swimming in the seas that is kind of taking them under, then there is a life raft for you. There are people who want to help. So please just reach out to that life raft, get some support, and please make sure you're not alone, and just don't leave any more families in this situation, please.
Couldn't echo that anymore, Jackie. Perfectly said, and good for you on doing something. Thanks so much for your time.
Thanks, Jackie.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, guys.
You're listening to talkSPORT. Morning all, warm up on talkSPORT. Max Rush and Charlie Baker with you till 11. So Graham Potter's been sacked by West Ham.
It's all happening, Max, isn't it? It's all happening.
Let's go to the G-Tech. Sam Matterface, Stuart Pearce are there. Hey, gentlemen.
Hello, gents.
Yes, and I think we should start with that breaking news. West Ham have confirmed in the last few minutes that they have sacked head coach Graham Potter. Results and performances, they say, over the course of the second half of last season and the start of this season have not matched expectation, and the board of directors believe that a change is necessary in order to improve the team's position in the Premier League as soon as possible. It means that assistant coach Bruno, first team coaches Billy Reid, Narcis Pelak, league goalkeeper coach Kasper Angegren and goalkeeper coach Linus Kandelin have also left with immediate effect. And with a game coming in 48 hours, Everton against West Ham, live on talkSPORT, that does suggest that they have someone lined up to replace him. It's an odd thing to do at this stage of proceedings, bearing in mind yesterday Graham Potter was laughing and joking with reporters about the face swap memes that were doing the rounds. To sit him down in front of the press and preview that game on Monday night and then sack him this morning, that is a strange turn of events, and it does suggest that they are going to move very fast here. As far as we understand it, Nuno Espirito Santo is the leading candidate, and we believe that he is ready to take the job if he is asked. We know that they've spoken to Slaven Bilic as well, the former manager. Potter was made aware during the first international break that West Ham were looking for alternative replacements, and West Ham told him yesterday evening that he wouldn't be taking the Everton game. He was told to get a minimum of 4 points from 3 games before the international break in October. The loss to Palace made the board lose confidence that that was possible, and they started to actively approach candidates as a result. So the breaking news that we've got in the last couple of minutes is that West Ham have parted company with their manager, their head coach Graham Potter. He lost 52% of the Premier League games under Graham Potter's guidance, the highest loss of any permanent manager for the club in the competition, and that's quite troubling, I think, and that's really where he lost a little bit of support in the boardroom. Results weren't good enough. He had the whole of last season, really, Max and Charlie, to the second half of last season to shape his vision for the future of the club, and didn't manage to impart enough of his philosophy on the players or get enough buy-in for them to hit this campaign running. They stuttered into it. There was the terrible defeat against Chelsea. They've conceded so many goals from corners, which has been a massive issue. In fact, 32% of all the corner goals that have been scored in the Premier League this season have come against West Ham United. Stuart Pearce is here, former West Ham assistant manager, former West Ham player. What's your initial reaction to the news that Graham has been relieved of his duties? I don't think we're too surprised, are you?
No, you can't say you're shocked in regard to that. That is for sure. I'm a little bit disappointed. You know, it looked a good fit from the offset. You know, West Ham wanted a style of play, and I think Graham developed that at Brighton, and I was hoping to see that sort of, at West Ham, but for whatever reason, he's not managed to get them going. I hope he's back in football very soon. But obviously it seems with the timing, I totally agree with you, the timing of it suggests they've probably got someone lined up with the game Monday evening against Everton.
Yeah, that Monday night game, by the way, live on talkSPORT. Whoever is in charge of it, bearing in mind the whole coaching staff has been moved out this morning, it would suggest that someone is going to move in very quickly indeed, and I wouldn't be too surprised if that announcement came in the next 24 hours.
Stuart, it's obviously Graham Potter had a terrible time. I mean, I quite like the guy, but he was pretty hopeless, never ever worked. It's got Nuno written all over it. As soon as Nuno was going to lose his job, I think Graham Potter must have thought, oh, that's terrible news for me, because Nuno's circling. He did so well last year. He could set a team up sensibly, and he overperformed with Forest. So I just think it's lots of people saying that's sort of a done deal. It seems such a sensible appointment to me.
Well, put it this way, Nuno, for a manager that lost his job at Forest, Nuno come out with his, I wouldn't even say his reputation intact. I would say it was enhanced on his managerial course. I mean, the Forest fans love him. I've got connections there. I know that. He done a brilliant job at the club, carried on what Steve Cooper was doing, and as I say, he's done really well. So it's no surprise that him sitting out of work, he would court opinion from one or two that are looking for a manager and might make the decision that little bit easier, potentially, of moving one manager on with another one potentially in post, ready to take the job.
Stuart, you
Sam.
have coached. I was going to ask Stuart a question. Sorry, Charlie. You've coached at West Ham. Would you recommend it as a place to work, as a coach or a manager, with the people above you?
Yes, I would. Yeah, I think it's a brilliant club. I think they've got 60,000 fans there every week. You get the club going. The fans are brilliant. You know what I mean? They'll let you know if they don't like what they're seeing. Make no mistake about that. But and the ownership is what it is. You know what I mean? I think they're as good as he's put some money in David Sullivan over recent years. You know, put a decent amount of money into the football club. It's not as if players have not come through the door and they've enhanced the squad in any way, shape or form. So and David left it in a really good place, I think. I'm biased. I like Dave, and brought silverware, and they were just looking to build on that. Now they've had a period of stagnation, maybe you might say, over this last year or so, but what they need to do is build on what is there. It's a decent squad of players, but they've just got to brush up on certain things, and as Sam mentioned, the set play situation's an easy solve, I think.
Sam, how much do you think they'll get Chris Wood for in January?
Well, I tell you what, it might not be Chris Wood, but they definitely need some goal power, because that has been a bit of an issue for them. With all due respect to Callum Wilson and to Nicholas Fulkrug, who came in last season, I think that they need a younger, maybe more sprightly, more mobile striker at the top of the formation. Jared Bowen seems to have been taking that club forward on his shoulders, all on his own probably, over the course of the last few years. They have got a good squad of players there, but they also haven't spent the money in the right areas for me. They recruited a goalkeeper who has struggled at the start of this campaign. If you look at the figures, the data on the goals that they've conceded this year, they should never have conceded some of the ones that they have, and that's put them in a bad situation. They didn't recruit enough legs early enough in midfield. They have now got that sorted to an extent with Matías Fernandes, who came in from Southampton, but the recruitment has been a little bit muddled over a number of years now, and you hope that the change of manager might precipitate a more, and they did release a statement to this effect a couple of weeks ago, a more structured and more disciplined attempt at recruiting players, because it's been a little bit scattergun over the course of the last few seasons. And Stuart's absolutely right. They had a golden opportunity after winning their first European trophy in 40 years, and they haven't built on that. In effect, I felt they actually rested on their laurels a little bit, and that's why they're in this current situation.
Finally, Stuart, last gig you went to, and that's what our listeners are more interested in.
Last one, it might have been the Stranglers last Saturday. Beyond that, we've got Oasis tonight.
He hasn't stopped banging on about that.
Because Sam hasn't got a ticket, so he's fed up with me. Myself and Resh are going.
Are they back together, Stuart?
I've heard they are, but you never know till you get there. And the Kooks and the K's in 2 weeks.
Very
Two
nice.
good bands. I've seen them both recently. Very good. The K's very good live.
Yeah, I'm not really going for the K's, more so the K's I am. The Kooks not so much, but I might be surprised. So that's the next two up.
I'm pleased I haven't got Oasis tickets tonight. I want to watch the Ryder Cup.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
I might stay in and watch Carry On Dancing or whatever it's called myself,
Carry On Dancing.
Nice.
That was a smutty one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Thank you, chaps. Stuart Pearce, Sam Adams there. You can get your calls in if you want, if you're a West Ham fan, to Game Day from 11. I mean, I suspect they're taking calls. If they're not, you have to take them now. 03717
As Stuart was fading out, then he went, me and Atty Jakes dancing together.
Now, we have some worrying news, and it's not come from me or Charlie, that there might not be time for time difference. And if that is the case,
if that's what they want,
this show will forever want West Ham to lose every game.
New producer today, Max, on his first official show for us. He's done shows in the past for us.
Absolutely.
First thing he's done is not find time for time difference.
It is war. It's war with him, with management. We stand with Ian Danter and we stand against West Ham for what they did. They could have done this at any time. And the only reason they sacked Graham Potter was not his form. It was because they didn't like time difference. It stinks.
It stinks.
Hope
they go
Brady,
down.
She was in. She had a look at me. When she did that interview with Sunday Session, she looked at me as I walked in the studio and she knew she was going to throw time difference under the bus.
They deserve that soulless stadium they've got. A club with no heartbeat.
They've never had a soul, West Ham.
Never.
Never. We want them to lose every game now on this
What have
show.
they ever done for the England team? What have they ever done for anything?
Nothing. Lee Phelps will join us in just a second. Jeff says, oh no, Dan smacks Charlie. I've been looking forward to time difference all week. Typical of West Ham.
Yeah.
To spoil things. Outrage. Sack the producer, says Aaron. Well, I thought there was always time for time difference. Sack the producer, says Robin Bath. Breaking news, says Dan. Reports of riots breaking out in Knutsford. Town declares it will march on East London in the coming hours. More as we get it. Listen, that's the big news today, is that there is not time for time difference, which does change a lot of what we say on this show. But let's get the latest odds from William Hill.
In the Zone on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Final One Standing. New from William Hill. 18 plus gambleaware.org. Terms and conditions apply.
Lee Phelps, West Ham have not only ruined this entire show, but they've ruined your segment. And you have maybe 2 minutes to rattle through every single thing we should bet on. And you can start with £1 billion on Nuno being the next West Ham manager.
Well, I've just asked for prices on time difference making a comeback next week, and no market being offered on that, guys, unfortunately for you guys. So,
are you serious? This is how they
there was once time for time difference.
Yeah. Well, Nuno opened up as the 4-7 favourite to be the next West Ham manager. Already gone 1-10, and we're expecting that market might come down pretty soon because, I think we all think that it's going to be Nuno. But 1-10 favourite to be the next West Ham manager. Of course, they go to Everton on Monday night. Everton were already odds-on favourites to win that game, and I don't think that'll change too much, to be honest, before Monday. Whoever takes over, it's not a lot of time to get a new manager bounce, is it?
It isn't, no, but. He's quite good, Nuno. Who knows?
Who knows?
I think
he'll keep him up, won't he? He'll keep him up.
West Ham is a sort of Man United style, slightly smaller poison chalice, I would suggest. I think it's not very easy to do well there. Although David Moyes did well there. I don't know.
Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Our new quiz next week in best of time difference. Who knows? I quite like it. Who knows?
Yeah.
Anyway, now you've got 10 seconds.
Yeah, sorry. Final one standing today. We've got 16,000 players left in the original and the biggest, the £500,000 jackpot game. Over 55% of players have gone for Manchester City at home to Burnley. Not a big surprise. They've won the last 13 on the bounce against Burnley. 46-2 is the aggregate score. They've got an 85% chance of winning that. Tottenham, 24% have gone for Tottenham. Everton, 11% have gone for Everton, obviously with West Ham. In the talkSPORT League, which is £5,000 up for grabs, 251 listeners left in there.
Wow.
12:30 deadline. So when Man United kick off at Brentford, that's your deadline to get your picks in for Final One Standing. On that game, there's an epic boost. It's Brian Mbeumo or Bruno Fernandes to score in the match. 6-4, boosted from 4-6. They've scored 3 of the 6 goals for Man United this season. 2 of them have been own goals, by the way. Impact sub applies to that as well. A quick one on the 3 PMs and further, there's a free footy acca when you place one, and there's some really interesting games today. We've got Man City obviously in action, as I mentioned. Liverpool and Chelsea, both 3 PM games. I think Liverpool win at Palace. Palace have had 2 draws at home, scored 1 goal. I think Liverpool have too much for them. Chelsea beat Brighton at home. I think Tottenham win against Wolves, as you guys said. I like Bradford at home to Blackpool. You've also got Celtic and Hearts at home in the William Hill Scottish Premiership. Juve are at home, PSG are at home, so there's some interesting